Hopefully it's good sound quality. There we go. There we go. I don't know. Hat on or hat off? What do you think, Johnny?
Hat off.
Hat off?
Yeah.
I look like the animal from Sesame Street. All right.
I say the animal, but we can do that one later.
All right, guys. Welcome back to another Shop Talk. Today we're sitting down with Kevin Bigelow.
Hello.
Of Kevin Bigelow Art. If you would like to check out his work, if you haven't seen it yet or anything like that, I got links to his website and his Instagram down in the description. But he's also brought a couple pieces which we'll talk about as time goes on. We have a bunch of questions here, hopefully, from the Patreon audience, as is customary when we do these shop talks. But before we start, how is our sound? Are we sounding good? Do we have good sound?
Testing.
Do this. Just piss everyone off. Do we have good sound quality, guys? Let us know, and then we'll get into it.
I'm gonna shut my phone off.
Sound is good. Sound is good. Yeah, no worries. Sound is good. So sound is good. Let's go. So thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me out here.
Yeah, you live like an hour and a half away.
In Redwater, yes.
So you drove all the way here to talk to me. I appreciate that. So for those of you who don't know Kevin, I don't really know him either. So probably going to learn some stuff. I already learned something today. He was a firefighter at one point. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit later.
A few years ago, yeah.
Which I think is so cool because I wanted to be a firefighter for a bit. I think that's every little boy's dream, is to be a fireman or like a police officer or I don't know, whatever else. And Johnny B is behind the camera. You may hear him laugh from time to time. I don't know.
Depends on the content.
Actually was going to go on to this voluntary fire team, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
But I didn't weigh enough. You got to be 150 pounds.
Really?
And I was 130 pounds. So I was not even close.
They must have had like a lot of volunteers then.
Yeah, they must have had enough, right? And they're just like, you're not 100. But they said, can you carry 100 pounds? Yeah, I can carry 100 pounds.
Yeah.
I can't run with 100 pounds probably, but I can carry 100 pounds. And then they're like, okay, how much do you weigh? I was like, 100. I weighed like 135. So I was like 135-ish. And they're like, okay, you have to be 150 pounds. Thanks for coming in. And this was actually a guy who I was working with. He was the volunteer chief or whatever you call it.
Oh, okay.
And he was one of the bosses of our framing crew. And so he drove his civilian fire truck to work. He had like the lights and stuff. I was like, dude, that's cool. I was like, I think I made a joke one day because he had a light and his truck was red. And so I was like, pretending to be a fireman. And then he's like, I'm fire chief. I'm like, no, you're not.
And then it turns out he was.
And then he was. So he would like, sometimes he'd have to leave.
Oh.
They got a call. He had like a walkie-talkie.
Well, that's weird because, on a fire department, there's like so many jobs where it's not physical strength or like you don't need to be a certain size, right?
Maybe he just didn't want me to. Because like I already worked with him. Maybe he was just saying that.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe he was just like, what can I say? Can you carry 100 pounds? Yes. Damn it. And now, for 10 years or 10 years, you're still on.
What's that? No, I'm not a firefighter anymore.
Okay.
I have been for a few years now.
You don't weigh 150 pounds anymore?
I lost weight.
let's try to do this. I'm wondering. I did charge these. Sorry, guys. I'll be handling We'll just use the phone microphone. We'll just project our voices. Did you know, this has nothing to do with anything, you can take that off.
Okay.
Did you know that in opera, they don't use amplification, they just use the building and their voice?
No.
That's insane. Because
Yeah,
like
'cause
the
they're huge.
audience is, yes. And yeah, they don't
I did
use,
not know that.
yeah, they don't use microphones. They just sing really. I'm sure maybe some do, maybe, but I just learned this the other day. I was like, huh, that's crazy.
Yeah, because they have like those big domes, and I guess
That
maybe
helps.
it's the building
It's supposed to, yeah,
helps
it's
reflect
designed for
everything,
that.
but
We're better? Good, guys. We're good. Okay. Anyway, you're a mailman, or we're a mailman.
I'm
or
a mailman, but only for another couple months.
couple months.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try the artist full time.
You're gonna try it, but it must be going well enough that you are willing to try
Well,
it.
the thing of it is, I won't have to rely, because I'll still have a decent enough pension from mailmanning.
Okay. And do you get anything for being a firefighter, or no, because it's volunteer?
That's volunteer. Yeah.
So I know that some of our American audience, specifically Matthew, who is our moderator, he was a fireman for years. He actually was at 9/11 and all that.
Oh, okay.
Pretty big career in the fire department, as well as being a military veteran and all that stuff. But he told me, if I am understanding correctly, that the volunteer firemen over there don't get paid.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, volunteer firefighters here do get paid.
it's a real job.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So I don't know if he said they don't get paid or if it was just different, but
But it's just like, it's not like a 9 to 5 paycheck, right? Like
you're on call.
so for ours and all of like the region here, like our calls used to actually come out of Parkland. Like whenever there was an
Okay.
accident or something in Redwater, we get the call from Parkland telling us that there's
Okay.
like that's where the 911 calls.
Well, we
from
got the big ass firehouse, or I don't know if it's a firehouse, but by the Parkland offices, and then Parkland Village has those old ass trucks, and then they built a new fire station in Atchison. So, where does it come from? Does it come from the firehouse, or is there like a dispatch?
It's like a dispatch, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So, but yeah. So anyway, how it works is like usually training is like say 1 day a week, and so when you show up for training, you get a certain amount for that evening of training, and then when there's a call, then that gets whoever goes to the call, you get paid for being on that call.
And do you have to go if you're called?
Well, what it is everybody kind of gets a radio.
Right.
And so the call goes out. If you're available, then you show up.
So if you're
Yeah.
like mailmanning or whatever you call it,
Yeah,
delivering mail,
then I can't.
you can't because you're working.
Right. I'm
You're like, I work for the government. I can't. I can't put out your fire. And here, some people won't know this depending on where they live in the world, but our fire departments here, as far as I know, they're also like the ambulance service and stuff. Is that true with the volunteer department as well, or no?
Ambulance is not volunteer. They're
Right, but like, okay, I guess that answers the question anyway. I was just wondering, like, if you're like, would you be an EMT trained person, individual, but just being a volunteer?
not necessarily. Like not like I had my EMR training,
Okay,
but it's not.
it's not EMT.
But you don't have to take that
Okay,
kind of thing.
But you wanted to.
it's yeah.
okay. Yeah, I know in some places in the world, like the fire department, well, here too, fire department
like ambulances are ambulances, and they have their thing. But a lot of fire departments are also, they have it like in Spruce Grove, for example.
They'll have the
They
ambulance
have
bays.
Yeah, so and
Yeah.
they'll have like you'll see. So my and I could be speaking out of school here a little bit because I don't know, but my wife is a nurse, and so she would do when she was going to school or whatever, she would do some of her, what do you call it, practicals or whatever,
Yeah.
with like on the ambulance
Oh, okay.
and stuff or something. I can't remember exactly. That was a while ago now.
So they might share the same building, but it'll be like
It's
there's
separate.
still like EMS is EMS. Like
Okay.
they get called from a different dispatch.
Oh, okay.
So
They do have the fire department's logo, whatever you call it, on the ambulance though.
oh really?
Yeah, the one in Spruce Grove. So
Oh, okay.
and they actually used to be, the police were attached
Well,
to the same building as well.
It could be that maybe they have like paramedics, like in the fire department, part of the fire department.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Like every place is a little bit different. So
Okay. I don't know. And again, I could have just said that completely wrong because I don't know. Like I literally just have friends who do it. Like I have two friends who are. I always joke and call them ambulance drivers because that's annoying to them. Just like nurses or doctors, helpers or whatever.
yeah.
I just think it's funny. But I don't know if they're EMTs or EMRs or whatever they are, but they are in the ambulance.
Right.
And I don't know if you know this about me, but when I was last year around this time, I got a weird brain thing, and so now I have this annoying condition, if you will. And that was my first time in an ambulance, where I was a patient or
Right.
whatever, and I didn't realize that the two people manning the ambulance they're different professions. So she told me that she was.
Go ahead.
She told me that she was I can't remember what she said. Also, she had a really bad lisp, so she was really hard to listen to.
Okay.
She was a EMT, and the guy who was driving, was something else. I can't remember. And then she said, because I was.
It might have been an EMR.
Okay.
And the difference is like one can give certain drugs and the other one can't.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
Well, she wasn't giving me anything. She was just giving me, asking me a lot of questions. Because that's when I had to go get my CAT scan or whatever you call it, and spinal tap. And so we just went from the Stony Plain Hospital to Edmonton because they have the equipment for that or whatever. Anyway, doesn't matter. This has nothing to do with art. I just thought that was interesting that you're a fireman and a mailman. So a couple months left of mailing people's mail, and then you're gonna do art.
Yeah.
Full time. So obviously, I'm a fan of your art because I asked you to be on. I bought one of your prints, which is up there. It's the Iron Giant one. I love that movie.
I would say it's my favorite Superman movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I wonder if they had to, because he's in the movie.
Yeah, but I think
He
that's
puts-
a Warner Brothers movie, right?
Is it okay?
Yeah. So I think they own the rights to Superman.
Okay. Yeah, because he puts like the S on his chest and he says Superman
Yeah.
or whatever. I can't remember exactly how it goes. My favorite part of that movie is the saying grace.
Oh yeah.
Man, I lost my shit when I was a kid listening to that. Like we saw this movie in the theater, and man, I was laughing my head off. I think I saw it when we were in daycare or something like that. It was a field trip. So funny. And then my one older brother was a trucker, and I would go on trips with him, and I'd just hang out in the sleeper watching movies, and I was laughing so hard, and I spilt my Gatorade all over the bed in the back of the truck, and I was trying to like breathe, but I couldn't. And so I knock over my Gatorade, and then it made me start coughing because I was like, oh shit, and I'm trying to pick it up, and I'm coughing, laughing, trying to not spread the freaking Gatorade all over the place. Anyway, so Iron Giant, I had to get that print. I have it. You guys can't see it, but it's hanging up right there. I love that movie, so I had to get that. You're the first person who I actually saw paint Iron Giant. So
Yeah, I think I started doing that painting at my first art walk. So while I was at the first art walk on by White Avenue in Edmonton, I just said they said that they wanted us to be painting.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll paint. Started painting the Iron Giant. I was like, yeah.
That's good. That's great. If people want to check out that, they can see your website or your Instagram.
Yeah, if you go on my Instagram, I actually have like there's the link in there, and it'll take there is a button that you can push
Just
that'll
follow.
take you right to the gallery,
Okay.
and it's in there somewhere.
Okay. And can people still buy that one? Is that one still available?
That one is still available.
It should always be available because it's awesome. Until whoever owns Iron Giant has a problem with you, just sell the crap out of it because it's awesome. Okay, I think we'll ask some of these questions, or all of the questions. We got four questions here, I think, or that's the question. We got 3 questions. I was a little
Okay.
late with posting this, but as the viewers will know if they remember, I get the Patreon audience to ask questions, and then I don't read them beforehand, so they're kind of just this.
Fresh.
And if you don't want to answer anything, just throw this tablet out the window into the tall grass, and we'll move on to some other questions. But Martha asks, she says, "Hello from Texas.
Hi, Martha.
Thanks for doing Shop Talk. I like your art. It's very fun.
Thank
How
you.
long have you been an artist?"
Well, I've always drawn, and more like doodles and stuff, like ever since I was a kid. But then I kind of got into doing some more painting as I got older. But it wasn't until I think 2014 where I decided to really start doing it like kind of as a profession, like building my way up to that. So
2014, so like 8 years. Wait, 9 years.
Yep.
oh, has it been 9 years? So yeah, so in 2014, me and my daughter would always go to this art walk every year. And in 2014, when we were doing the art walk, she said, why don't you do this? Because she's seen me doing paintings and stuff. And I thought to myself, yeah, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do it. I'll give it a try. So I kind of set myself a limit of doing 1 painting per month. I figure if I did 1 painting per month, then by the end of the year, I would have at least 12 paintings to
Right.
show, right? So that's what I did. And there's like some months I would get like, I only have a few days left. I better get
Oh, yeah,
painting,
yeah.
right? But
So your motivation was based off of like a time constraint at
Yeah.
that time? Yeah, okay.
yeah, and I find I kind of need that. I kind of need shows because like during COVID, like when everything got shut down,
Right.
and then everybody's thinking, oh, you got lots of time to paint now, right? But
You
the
didn't care.
wasn't
You're
there.
right.
It's
You're
like,
there's
well, I
no
don't-
shows
I
coming
got
up,
no
there's
shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're just
So,
like, I'm just gonna deliver the mail.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for what it's worth, I think that each piece of yours, or at least most of them, I really like. So
Thank you.
it's working. She says, "I really like your what? Is that a title to one of your paintings? Is that the pop art painting?
Oh, the pop art? Oh, yeah.
I don't know why she
Nice.
spelled it like this. It's like the ampersand, QUOT, semicolon, pop, ampersand, QUOT.
I'm gonna assume that it's the pop art.
Yeah, that one's sick with all the different pops.
Yeah.
I saw that at the Edmonton Art Walk. And if you guys watched my video on actually both art walks that I did, which maybe I'll put the link in the description. I actually didn't put it in here, but that's when I first saw it at the Edmonton Art Walk, and I didn't even realize that it was all pop.
Yeah, everything in there has the word pop in it.
Yeah, you got Egg Pop in there, you got Coca-Cola in there, you got, I can't remember what else.
Popeye.
Oh yeah,
You got
Popeye.
like popsicles.
And then you have it in like a pop art style, which
Yeah.
a lot of your work, actually I would say probably that's your main.
People say it's pop art, and I'm okay with that. I guess I don't know.
How do you describe it? I would describe it as pop art for sure. So I'll move over so people can see this one here. I hope everyone can see that. So this is a moose.
Yeah, that's
obviously.
my blue moose.
Blue moose.
So it started off, look, when I did this one, it started off that I painted the whole thing just in blue. But then, and I called it Blue Moose, but then I didn't like it enough. So it's like,
So yeah,
I gotta add more
green and
color to it.
red and
So then I added the
purple
green and
orange.
red and stuff to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then it was looking, because the moose itself, it was just kind of blended in with the background and he wasn't standing out.
Oh, okay, so it's kind
It
of
wasn't
muted.
popping enough.
Okay. Okay, and then
So,
we were just
and then-
talking about the Adams Family just earlier. I was talking about how I want to build a new shop.
yeah,
But anyway.
you asked me if I seen Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I painted this because I figure everybody's going to be painting Wednesday right now. So, but I wanted to paint the old version of.
What's his name?
Why am I drawing a blank? I should know.
I forget what his name is.
Gomez.
Gomez.
Gomez
Yes.
Adams. And but I wanted to paint him because when I was working on another painting, I noticed like I have the Roku TV and they have like just a bunch of like all these old shows and I seen
Okay.
like the old Adams Family. I was like, oh, I'll put that on. And for how old of a show, how many times it made me like laugh out
Yeah,
loud, and
yeah.
it was usually something Gomez said.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I gotta paint this guy,
Okay.
just because it was
Well, it works.
it was fun.
It's a great piece.
Thanks.
Okay. Oh, she asked how long did it take you to do the pop art piece? That's a huge painting.
The pop art, well, it's hard for me to say. It was a long time, because what I would do was like I had like a whole list of everything that had the word pop in it, and so I would paint, like say I painted Iggy Pop, and then I'd work on another painting, and then
Oh,
I'd go
yeah.
back to the list and it was like, okay, I'll do Popeye and paint Popeye,
Yeah.
and then go do another painting. So
Right, right.
it was in my studio for a long time, so it's really hard.
Okay.
Like, but it was a lot of hours.
How big is it? It's like 4 foot by 5 feet or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's huge. I would love to have that one. It's out of my budget, but not that it's totally worth it. It's such a cool painting. Someone buy it for me. It's like $4,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not a lot, guys. Come on. No,
It could be yours.
it's a very good piece. Do you have prints of that one?
I do have prints, yeah.
Okay, she continues on here. Which is your favorite piece of yours, I guess?
Which is my favorite piece? I think probably the pop art is my favorite piece.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think
That's a great piece.
it hangs in my living room when I don't have it. Like right now, it's at a gallery, but
Okay. Which
yeah.
gallery?
The Night of Artists gallery at.
Oh, that was at
Mall.
the art walk there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they just opened up that gallery.
Yeah, they just opened it up right after Christmas.
Yeah, I saw that. Someone
So-
sent me to like submit or something.
Brochure. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I didn't, but I mean, it seems like a nice gallery though.
Yeah.
Do you? Hold on. Do you prefer to paint people, animals, or other objects like still life or something like that?
It depends. Like, it depends on what mood I'm in. I
Yeah.
do like painting animals, but it's like, I don't know. I like going back and forth between all the different things, right?
Yeah.
So like, I really like painting ravens and crows and stuff,
Okay.
and different like moose.
Right.
So I do like painting those, but then there's that geeky side of me that wants to paint
Like the
like
pop
a
culture
Mars
stuff.
rover.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You know,
Okay.
And
Oh, I
then-
remember that one. Yeah, that one's like
so.
pretty.
And there's
zany colors,
a
too.
couple of those where I'm blending like real science with like my comic book geekiness. So
Okay.
like I've got a Mars rover and it's got like the Watcher in the background
Okay.
watching. So
Yeah.
I call it watching Perseverance, right? 'Cause
Oh,
that's
that was the name of the rover, yeah. Yeah, Perseverance. That's the one that lasted like 10 years longer than it was supposed to, or something.
That's the last one that went up. And
Yeah.
it's still going. Yeah.
Oh, it's still going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless I'm wrong.
I thought there was.
There was one that.
Wasn't there one that was supposed to only last like a month or something?
Yeah,
and
but it lasted way longer.
like 10 years, and then the last pictures of it were like of something that where it was like pretty phenomenal discovery. I can't remember what it was. My my interest in that stuff, I would say like I have a pretty great interest in it, but like only when it's brought up.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I just because I think it's fascinating space because like.
So when it's put in front of you, you'll stop.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what's this?
Yeah, but like I won't remember. I'm just like, well, I mean, space is cool, but I will never go there. So
unfortunately, I will never go there.
I mean, unless I win like some sort of draw and like Bezos or Elon or like being like, hey, we want the general public.
As much as I want to go to space, like I was watching like the Bezos ones, where they go up and it's like so much money, and it's like the whole trip is like 50 minutes and it's over. I was like, I don't. As much as I would love to go to space, I don't think I could spend that much money for like 15 minutes.
What if it was like to the moon?
Oh yeah.
Then you would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like even like orbit the Earth.
Once or twice.
Yeah.
I wonder how long does it take to orbit the Earth once? Man, I think about like.
It depends. I guess it depends on what speed you're going, right? But I know like the
fast.
The space station, I think it goes around. How many?
I mean, when you
does it do it like twice an hour or something like that?
When you see it at night, like it looks like it's going pretty freaking fast.
Yeah.
When you can spot it. Okay, so so I don't know. Did you even answer that question? Do you like painting kind of anything?
Yeah.
Just depends
I
on
kind of yeah.
For me, it's people. Every time I try to paint an animal, I hate it.
Really?
I like painting some things that are not people, but like I'm just like, dude, like you can't see it, but right under that plastic is a whale painting.
Oh, okay.
And I've been staring at it for months, and I don't know
It's
why.
It's a painting that you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm stuck. Like I was gonna paint it in one day. I was like, I'll just do something fun, something different.
Try bring it into your house, and like hang it someplace where you see it all the time.
And then
right?
maybe I'll.
And then sometimes, because that's what I'll do is like, if it, I'll get so far on a painting and it's like, oh, I'm not sure where I want to take this now, and then I'll hang it up in my living room where I see it every day, and then eventually it's like, oh, I know what I want to do with that.
Hey, that might work. I haven't even thought of that. But
that.
like I used to paint every day. Now I paint just kind of whenever. I feel like if I got back to painting every day, I would see it every day, and then maybe I could get used to it. But like the same is true. Like I'm working on this Terminator painting. I always like kind of worry about painting intellectual property because I don't want to get sued or whatever.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I don't know, like, and I'm actually, this will be the first year where I'm gonna try and do like Comic Cons.
Oh yeah,
stuff. So and it's like, I don't know, like when I was thinking about it, it's like, like do I, can I paint this Popeye in here? Like, is that
anything owned
like,
by
yeah,
Disney is the worst.
or yeah, like, and I got Disney character, like Marvel characters and stuff.
Yeah, Disney owns
and
everything
like,
now, so.
But then if you go to a Comic Con and you get the Artist Alley,
There's
and
hundreds.
it's like that's all they got.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, so yeah.
There's copyright law is like super complicated, and it's complicated on purpose. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, that piece, I'm also it's from Terminator 2. You know when he has the gun in the flower box?
Oh yeah,
and he
yeah.
pulls it out.
Yeah.
I have that scene, but in the movie, that scene is from the front and down.
Oh, okay.
And I reimagined the scene as if from the side.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't actually appear in the movie,
Right.
and I mean, it's clearly Arnold, but I don't know. I'm probably gonna call it something that's just like dude in leather jacket with gun.
Well, that's like, one of the first paintings I did was like a Spider-Man painting with them hanging upside down,
Yeah,
with a little spider and
yeah,
stuff.
I've seen that one.
And I thought about that, and I was like, oh, I mean, I could always say, oh, that's just a cosplayer.
Yeah, well, it's the character is copyrighted. Not,
Yeah. So
as well.
I mean, I don't.
you could be like, dude, that's Spider Boy. That's not even. What are you talking about?
So yeah, I don't know.
But he's owned by
Anything
Sony,
about
so
that,
maybe
but-
they're more lenient because
I've
this could be wrong, but I've heard that what's the Star Wars dude's name again?
Oh, the Mandalorian.
No, the guy who wrote Star Wars.
Oh, George Lucas.
George Lucas. He used to be a fan of people's fan art and stuff. I don't know if he
Uh-huh.
cared if they sold it or not, but this is just from other artists who've told me this. I don't know if that's correct or not. But now that Disney owns
Yeah.
Star Wars, it's kind of like shit. Can't paint Star Wars no more. I used to paint Star Wars all the
I
time.
kind of, because I have people asking me all the time, "Well, do you do Star Wars stuff and stuff?" And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I was thinking, as long as you're not like mass marketing T-shirts and stuff that say,
Right.
this is a Marvel product. I don't know I guess if Marvel has an issue with anything I do, they'll let me know.
Oh, they
And
will.
I'll just
I
have
got
to
in trouble
stop.
for painting. You know the Johnny Cash
Yeah,
flipping the bird. I painted that.
yeah.
And the photographer is passed away, but his estate manages his properties, like his his photos and stuff. That's the most ripped off photo in history, apparently, and they had a huge problem with me painting that picture.
Oh, really?
Even though it's clearly a painting, it's not a
Yeah.
reproduction. Like I painted it,
Yeah.
and like it's had like how I use colors and stuff, right? It's clearly a painting by me and stuff, and they're just like, nope, we own that image. And also a Jimi Hendrix one that I did, same photographer. So now,
Oh, wow.
like that image there doesn't
Mhm.
exist. I made that one up.
Oh.
So I just took his face,
Mhm.
several images of his side profile, and I used a main reference photo. But you see how he has his hand on the microphone and stuff?
Yeah.
I had to take a picture of my own hand actually holding a paint tube
Okay.
to have that shape.
Yeah.
And so that's actually my hand,
Oh, okay.
but with his tattoos.
I've had to do that too.
Yeah.
I was like, hands are hard. You gotta
I
have-
hate
you gotta
painting
have-
hands. I
You
hate
gotta
it.
have a reference, right?
Yeah,
No,
so-
hands are hard.
Yeah, especially doing size. Because
Yeah.
like when you were a kid, well, when I was a kid, there was a joke that other kids would play on you. It'd be like if your hand is bigger than your face, you have cancer, and then you do this, and then they make you yeah, right. So ever since that, I'm like, oh, a hand is slightly smaller than your face. So that's how I measure
Yeah.
up the size of the hand.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good way of doing that.
It's just from that, because someone smacked me in the face with my own hand one day.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, it's smaller, so I don't have cancer, but that kind of hurt.
Yeah, the hand I was thinking of was gonna be like a big giant. It's like a big giant fist. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's like a guy and he's like fighting back, but against this great big fist that's trying to drive him down, right?
I don't know if I've seen that.
And but anyway, so I didn't have to. I just had to make it bigger than the guy, so
Yeah.
I didn't have to play around with size references or anything.
Hands are hard regardless for me. I hate doing them. If I painted them more, I'd get better at it. I actually don't know how to draw or paint anatomy correctly. It's just when I use a reference photo, I'm just like, okay, make these lines that I'm drawing look the same as these lines on my reference photo.
I kind of do that. I find that like when I'm painting people, like I haven't really been painting people for long. This is like I think my third person,
Okay, well, it's great.
and the first one was I just did a self-portrait, and
Right,
I thought
so-
it was gonna be like really hard, but I found as I was painting, I was like looking at just like the shapes.
Right, yes,
and so you're
exactly.
just So it's like, oh, okay, that's like a triangle with a little whoop.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so you end up painting all these little shapes, and then you step back and take a look, and if it starts looking like it should, then you keep going. If not,
Right,
then you
exactly.
figure
Do you
out
do
how to
the
fix it.
Do you do the mirror trick where if it looks almost right and then you look in the mirror and it's completely wonky?
Not. I don't know if I've ever done. I know what you're talking about, where you look at the mirror and then.
It'll make the issues jump out to you.
Yeah, I should do that. Like especially for people, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
For animals,
I should try
it's
that.
forgivable. I used to have a big 8-foot mirror in my other studio when I first started painting, and or not when I first started painting, but like when I first got into it, like serious. There was I don't know, probably like 10 paintings where that like saved me because I was like happy with it, and then I was like, but it's because I've been looking at it a long time and it looked better than it did before.
Yeah.
Put it in the mirror, oh, that looks like trash.
Yeah.
I did that with an Elvis and a few other ones, and I was just like, that looks.
Sometimes if I like just take a picture with my phone, and I can look.
Yes, if you look at it smaller.
And
yeah.
And then things become clear. It's like, oh, I need to change that. Or another thing, what I do is like even with animals and stuff, if I'm going by a reference, I'll take that reference and I'll stand back from my canvas so that it's like the same size as what I'm painting.
That's a good idea.
And even it helps like if you just squint, you squint and then you don't get all the detail, but you can see where your darks.
Sure.
It's like so you could tell it's like, oh, I need to make that way darker.
Right.
Right. Just by squinting, like it kind of blurs the
right.
image.
That's good. That's a good tip. Okay. So Lynn just says hi from Queensland, Australia.
Hi.
She didn't put a question. That's okay. Anna asks, says. Oh, okay. There is a question here. My creativity keeps me calm and sane. What does your art do for you?
That's a good question. I think I don't know if it really keeps me calm. But
does it feel like?
But the thing of it is that for me, I always have to be doing something creative. Otherwise, I'll get stir crazy.
Yeah.
Right. So, like before I started doing all the painting, I was big. Like in the '90s, I was big into Halloween. So I was building Halloween props and all these like animatronic monsters and stuff. And cool. I would have. Like I'd build like a full like walk through haunted house through my garage.
Oh,
right?
That's awesome.
So and I'd probably start working on it like in August, like getting ready for Halloween. Right?
That's awesome.
So, but then the kids grew up, and then it wasn't as much fun. So then I started painting.
Okay, that's kind of awesome. That so did you? Okay, this is kind of two thoughts. I think it's awesome that your creativity didn't just leave because your kids grew up. You're like, oh, let's do something else.
Yeah, I got to transition and.
Did you start painting because of that, or did you already try painting first?
I think I probably like when I was doing that, I did like a couple probably just some watercolor painting.
Okay.
It wasn't until, just lately that I started doing the acrylics and. I just like the acrylics way more.
All right. Do you prefer acrylics over oil?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate oil.
Yeah, I tried oil, and number one, and I did buy the stuff that they said didn't smell or whatever, but it still gave me a headache.
Oh, it's still not good for you. Just because it doesn't stink doesn't mean that it's good.
But it's the drying time was killing me.
Oh yeah, dude, you take like months, weeks, months.
Like I had another artist friend that talked me into trying oils. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try these oils and stuff. And I love oil paintings, but but for me to paint with them, it was like, oh, I can't do this.
Okay. Brandy says, did you go to art school or kind of fall into doing art yourself?
The only art I did, I took an art class in just high school.
Okay.
So, but other than that, I haven't done any art classes and stuff. It's all self-taught.
Okay. She asked a secondary question to that. If you didn't go to art school, do you wish you had?
Do I wish I had? The thing of it is that, yeah, I think I do wish that I did go to art school, because then I wouldn't have had to learn everything the hard way. Right? It's like it's all been trial and error. So
Right.
learn that, but the thing of it is that when it comes to art, if you want to get good at it, whether you go to school or whether you're self-taught, it just matters how much time you put into it. Right?
Sorry.
I know artists that have gone to school, but they didn't put the work into it. Like, they learned everything that they needed to know, but it's one of those things where you have to use what you know, right?
Sure. Do you find, this is my opinion of art school, I don't think it's necessarily bad to go to art school, but I feel like it can be bad. Okay, this is just based off of my limited exposure to it. So if anyone's gone to art school and this is not your experience, I believe you. But it seems to stifle creativity, because you learn to paint like your teacher,
Like your
professor,
teacher, yeah.
or like, because you're graded, and
Yeah.
art is subjective.
Yeah.
So if I don't like this painting, but someone else loves it, doesn't mean it's a bad painting because I don't like
But
it. It
if
doesn't
you're
mean
a
it's a great
teacher,
painting
you
because
give
he
it a
likes
C.
it, right? Yeah. But I mean, by the way, I think it's fine. I don't not like it. That's just an example.
Yeah.
But okay, so this is arrogant of me, but I think I'm a great artist.
Mhm.
And when people don't like my art, I just think they have bad taste. So,
I like that.
but like, it's okay if they don't like it. I don't care if they don't like it. I would much prefer it if they did like it. But if they don't, I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. But if
okay.
I was going to school and I got a failing mark because my teacher didn't like it, I'd be like, this painting or whatever it is awesome. I know it's awesome because I made it.
Yeah.
It's awesome. That's
I think, yeah, because, and I've heard that too. I've heard that from like other artists where they say, they've gone and art, like, they want the students to paint like a certain style, a certain way, and I think the same way. Like, if everybody's art was the same, it'd be boring,
it would be boring.
right?
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm not a fan of like most abstract art, but I love it when I like a piece of abstract art, because I don't want to become like closed off to a style, because what I've seen so far I haven't liked.
Yeah.
So that's I think even if I don't like your art, it's awesome that you are an artist.
Mhm.
I think that's way more important than
That you're doing it.
exactly. I
Well,
love
and
it.
there's some people. I mean, there's some like abstract art that is like, oh man, that looks really cool.
Mhm.
But a lot of that is my imagination working with that.
Sure. Yeah.
With that.
Some people
that painting, right?
absolutely love abstract.
But
and
I
don't
have
like-
seen like artwork where it's like, a great big giant canvas, and you can tell the guy just dipped his trowel into like red and went.
I know exactly the
And
painting
it's
you're
like,
talking about.
I want $4,000 for it, or whatever and I'm like, and I'm looking at that, and I'm like, that's lazy.
It is lazy.
But if he gets that, well, good.
That's the
good on
thing.
he or she, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Okay, so I think that my art is good, but I don't think that everything that I've made or painted is good necessarily. And that's usually I will decide it's not good, and maybe I'll still put it out there for people to consume,
Mhm.
like maybe even just as a failure. And when people like it because I painted it, it's very disappointing. I like that they're a fan of my work,
Oh,
but
But
they
if
just
they like it just because you
yeah.
go, oh, we like Josh, and so we like this kind of
I
thing.
find it it's nice. It's even a little bit humbling, but it is very. It's like, oh, you don't have good taste. Why do you like it? And I'm
You
the.
shouldn't like it. Yeah.
Yeah. John says, Josh, Kevin, so good to see you guys.
talking about each other's art. Glad I tuned in. Kevin, love your art. Saw you
Thank you.
in Josh's vlog with Dakota at the mall exhibition. Oh, he didn't actually ask a question, but
Oh,
awesome.
well, thanks for the comment.
Okay. Eco-active, this, Glenn is saying this. We're, by the way, I'm reading from the live chat right now.
Right.
Eco-activists, as a protest, splashed paint on famous Jackson Pollock painting.
No one noticed. You wouldn't notice. You can't notice because that's what his paintings are. Which,
Yeah.
by the way, I have my drop cloth. You can't see it, but it's over there. One day I plan to stretch it on something, and it has Jackson Pollock vibes. I don't think that his work is terrible or anything. I just don't like it because it's not a picture.
Yeah.
It's just, but his paintings in certain environments look really good.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that about my drop cloth, my paint palette. My first paint palette, I painted my first 10 years of paintings with that palette.
Yeah.
With a couple other ones, but that's the only one that I have left of the 3 that I started with, which is just little canvases that I just use.
I use my palettes are always ice cream lids.
Oh, do you keep them?
Yeah.
Okay, you should
Yeah.
keep them.
Well,
Oh, you scrape them off.
well, I got like a pile, right? What I was doing for a while was I would like peel them up and then stick them to my tile.
Oh, okay.
But then I got tired of looking at it, so took it down.
I think, okay, this is what I think. And again, this is arrogant. I don't necessarily think I'll be a well-known, famous artist, but that is the hope, which is the hope of many artists. But that's not why I do art, so if it doesn't happen, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But I know that artists that I'm fans of, like I'm a big fan of Michael Goddard.
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 of his Sharpies that ran out of ink from him signing autographs.
Oh yeah.
And no one will know because they are not signed by him. I know though.
Well, so are you gonna get like a little case and you can hang it next to your
Yeah.
Goddard painting?
Yeah, and I have 3 of them, 2 silver ones and a black one. And it again, no one's gonna know, and I can't prove it necessarily, unless people just take my word for it.
Yeah.
But I have them, and I think that's cool. And maybe one day someone will want my paint palette because it's mine.
You never know.
I don't
Maybe
care. I don't
keeping
care if
that.
people want something of mine and they're a fan of me and they want something like that. But if it's just like, oh, that's garbage, but Josh painted it, so it's cool. I don't
Yeah.
like that. But if they want to have like a memento,
So what if Goddard had this painting, and it was not a good painting? It was like his worst painting.
okay, well there are paintings of his that I don't like, but I would still own them because they're still worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
So there is that, but I'm not going to say that I'm a fan of it. I really love his not his earliest work, but his, where he was, it seemed like his imagination was like, the sky is the limit. He's like, okay, I got these little olive dudes, we're going to be playing pool here. He's redone his pool shark painting. I don't know if he's redone it, but he's done a newer iteration where the shark looks more realistic.
Oh, okay.
And it's cool, but I like his cartoony shark one better,
Yeah.
And I really like him. I actually tried to get him on this show, and he was
Oh, yeah?
considering it, but then he decided not to because he didn't have time. And I was like,
Oh,
no!
that would have been awesome.
It would have been cool. Is somebody working in the workshop? Asked Lang Sense. Yes, Johnny B is here. He is painting, and once we're done here, he's going to be in here. You can't see it, but there's plastic all over because he's using this as a paint spray booth. Let's see if I can find a question or two. How long have we been on here for? 50 minutes? You want to keep going?
Sure.
Okay. Justine says squinting makes the image more of a grayscale. That
Yeah.
could be true, yeah.
Yeah, because that's how. Because when you squint, yeah, she's right. Then that way it makes it easier to find like your tones, right? Your dark and your lights and.
Lang says this as well. Funny thing is, I prefer Josh's animal paintings, especially his earlier ones. That's hilarious.
Those
There you go.
I painted an elk, which I really like, and I've painted what do you call it? The big fish mouth fish, bass,
Oh,
a bass
okay.
fish that I really like.
Yeah.
I didn't like it for a while, but I was
You
just
grew on it?
watering down the paint as I was painting it, and I was like, now I like it.
Oh,
Made it
okay.
look
Cool.
more dimensional, and so I like it when a method, not that I invented it, but one that I didn't know of, and
That
I
you
tried it.
stumble upon?
Yeah, that I stumbled upon. That's a good way of putting it, and
Yeah.
it works. And so I'm a big fan of that painting because of that.
Yeah.
No one else really likes
That's like
it, but
I
that's
did
okay.
a painting of a Spitfire, and I was trying to think of like how I wanted to graduate like the different tones from underneath as like shadow to
Yeah.
the brighter, and I just happened to like I'm just gonna try drawing like a little line above there, and it's like, oh, I love the way that looks, and I did that throughout the rest of the plane, right? And I just love the way that turned out.
That's
It's
also
like-
a great painting.
By the way, guys, if you're just tuning in, Kevin's information is going to be in the description where you can check out his work. If you're not familiar, you should go follow him on Instagram and perhaps pick up a print or 7 or an original. Martha asks, how long did it take you to paint your self-portrait? I think it's really good.
This self-portrait probably took me about 40 hours,
40 hours.
I'm
okay.
guessing. Yeah.
People,
I mean, that's a guesstimate, so.
people think that that paintings that are done, because we just talked about using acrylic, done with acrylic are done, they don't think about how long it takes to take them because you're not waiting for things to dry.
Right.
But 40 hours, that's still lots of labor put into that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the time in oil paintings, depending on how you paint and what your style is, a lot of the time is you're actually not even doing anything. You're just waiting for shit to dry.
Waiting for it to dry, yeah.
Justin Cecil, he's an art professor, and he said he's right.
So probably about I don't know exactly.
The squinting?
No, about the talking shit about learning about
Oh, learning
how to
about
paint in art school. I don't know if that's exactly what he's saying, but I do know he's an art professor because he told me one time.
Okay.
And by the way, I'm not knocking anyone who goes to art school or anyone who teaches art because I don't think there's anything wrong with learning how to do things with a, how would you say, a proper technique, proper. What I wish I learned is how to mix paints so they go further with
Mhm.
their mediums and stuff because I don't know how to do that. Someone from Golden sent me some samples of stuff and I don't know what gel medium is for.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea. All I do is I just take the paint, if it's the color that I want, put it on the canvas, and that's good enough.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know what, like, gesso, I know what that is.
Yeah.
But I just get pre-gessoed canvas.
Gesso is, I like using gesso if I want to like white out something.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when I'm doing my paintings, a lot of times when I'm not sure what I want to paint, I'll just grab something and I'll basically do an abstract background, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just paint colors on a background and stuff, and then when I decide what I want to paint, sometimes I'll use the gesso and white that area out of what I'm painting because I want those colors to pop. Like if it's a dark, then I'm not painting over a dark, so then I don't have to do like so many layers of like a yellow or something.
Okay,
right?
I do that as well, but I do it just with white paint.
Yeah.
So is it better to do with gesso?
I find the gesso like covers a lot easier, a lot
Okay.
more.
Okay, that's good to know. I have some now, so I may as well use it.
Give it a try.
I was actually gonna give it to the last artist who was on, but I forgot. Because I don't know what this shit does, so you can have it. There's some other stuff, like I also don't know what gel medium is, and they also sent me something else too, but I don't remember what it is. And then some
Yeah.
paints as well.
So yeah, the gel medium, like you just mix that with your paints, and then it gives it a different. It's like I don't know how to. It makes it more jelly.
Okay.
Jelly way.
Do you think it would help with my finger painting, or is it better for brush work? Because like I don't Because I think my pictures turn out nice, but if I can
Yeah.
improve on them, of course I would love to.
I think what it is, like, I'm always trying new stuff,
Yeah.
so that's how
I'm gonna give it a
I
try. When I
just-
put a new canvas up on the wall, I'm gonna see what it is.
just try mixing some paint and put it on and just see how
see
it
how
looks,
it goes, right?
right? It'll give it more of a glossy.
Okay.
Glossy look,
Okay.
right?
Justin, same guy. My first sale was to some bank executive. I thought I priced my work too high, and later found out he bought it as a tax write-off.
LOL.
Should have gone higher, I guess.
Yeah.
I would have no problem with someone buying my art as a tax write-off, but I hope that they like it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's always nice, like, when someone buys your art and they send you a picture back of it, like, hanging in
Hung
their
up somewhere,
place,
yeah.
and they say that, you know, they love it. Like, you can see that they put it in a place where they're gonna see it every day, kind of thing. And it's like that. It feels good, right?
Right,
It's
exactly.
like, oh, they really like it.
Yes. I one time at my first art walk. Yeah, I believe it was my first art walk. Ashley, my wife, she convinced me to do art walk, and I was like, dude, my paintings suck, which they did, but they were like, I was a teenager, so it was like, you know, it was impressive, I guess, as a teenager, but not really. Like, when I look at them, I'm like, that is hot garbage. Some of them were cool, like the concepts.
Yeah.
Until I learned that I love painting people, I just kind of painted a lot of different conceptual type stuff.
Right.
And I even had a series of these trees that had faces on there that I borrowed from my brother Dakota.
Oh, okay.
And then I had these characters.
Kind
And
of
then,
like a haunted forest or something, or.
well, it would just be one singular tree and then one character.
Oh, okay.
So
I see.
one of them was Lil Bo Peep, but like macabre, cartoony macabre.
Right.
I don't know how to describe it other than that. Who would be similar? I don't know. She was just macabre looking, but like bright colors.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain. Anyway, I painted that, and like I was playing around like with shadows and stuff. Like I was making like double meanings and stuff in the paintings. Like her shadow was cast behind her, but she had a shadow that went across her as well, and which wouldn't work in real life. And then the sun is behind her though, so it doesn't actually make sense where her shadow is. But it all meant something.
Yeah.
And I stopped doing those paintings because you know Napoleone, Fabio Napoleone. He does this little puppet guy, Marcinevo. I have a painting somewhere. You've seen his work for sure.
It, like, it's kind of ringing a bell, but
He's got
I'm
like
not
this
for
little
sure,
puppet dude. His name's Marcinevo. He's got like one big eye, and the other eye I think is just stitching. Lots of hearts in his work.
oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
so, you know what? I'll Google it. So
He
everyone.
has stuff at the same gallery that you do, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking. It's kind of like those little sack
Yes.
boy kind of things.
Napoleone art. What the heck? Napoleone art.
Yeah. So let me.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, he's got like the stitching and stuff.
Come on.
This freaking thing was a piece of junk. Okay, so for those of you who don't know Napoleone's art, this is one of my ones that I like of his. That character's name is Marcinevo. There's a lot of things to do with love and stuff. I'd love to get him on the show as well one day. I don't know if he'd be
Up for that. But anyway.
my series was kind of like not the same, but kind of the same flavor.
Right.
And I was like, there's no such thing as an original idea. I probably saw his work somewhere and it stuck in my mind. I just didn't remember it.
Yeah.
It was different than that, but one of my characters was very similar to Marcinevo.
Oh, okay.
And I was
So like the background was kind of muted, but then you had that one bright color, or
it's kind of hard to explain. I could probably do it, and it wouldn't be a problem. But I don't know. I was just bummed.
Alright, how do I go back to the freaking YouTube here? Like an old man. I forget why I even brought that up. But
We got there somehow.
okay, here we go. Here we go. Justin says 80% of people who go to art school shouldn't go to art school. Those dedicated 20% though make my job worthwhile. So he agrees.
Okay.
Don't go to art
Yeah.
school unless you want to.
Yeah,
I
because
guess.
you got to put the work in, right?
Right, that's what you were saying, yeah.
But, and I think too, like every artist has their own path, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, you know, how you learn about your art, and you know how you sell your art. Like there's so many different ways. What works for one person isn't necessarily going to work for another, and vice versa.
Exactly.
Right?
And that's probably frustrating to new artists when they're like, "Frick, my art
How
is-"
come that's working for that
Yeah.
guy, but not for me?
Yeah. Like when I first started, my goal was to get into an art gallery. I didn't care what it was. So when that wasn't my goal when I first started, but as I started to love it, I was like, okay, I need to make a living doing this because I will never work if I do this. And I freaking love painting. I love making stuff, all sorts. Like I just became a multifaceted artist kind of by accident,
Yeah.
but I love it. At first, I was like, the gallery is where it's at, and so at the first art walk, I was already painting for about a year, so that would have been 2013 art walk, I think. So I started in 2012, I think. 2012, and then So 2013, 6 galleries asked me to be in their gallery, even though I think that they were just being kind. I don't know. My work was.
Well, if they're asking you,
They obviously saw something that
'Cause-
I don't see what they
because
saw
they're
now.
gonna want good art in their
Sure.
gallery, right?
But I was an idiot, and I just said, I will pick the one that I like the most. Go into
Right.
their gallery. I should have said yes to all of them because
Yes to
it could
all
have
of
led to so many different things. But my frustration then was like, how come such and such an artist, whoever, is selling so well? And like it would bug me because like I thought that my art was better than theirs. Like nothing in like bigger galleries, higher caliber galleries. I didn't think I was better than them necessarily. It's just going to like the Edmonton Art Gallery, the provincial one. If you go in there, there's like some very low caliber art. I don't understand why it's there.
Yeah.
But it's just because they obviously have the way they curate and whatever. And I just didn't submit to however they curate, and that's why I didn't make it in. But like, I would go there, and the people who I'd go with, they'd be like, "Your art's way better than this," and
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Yeah, I know." And it's again, that's arrogant, but is it arrogant? I don't know. It's facts, I think, but it sucks to not have what someone else got when you think when you
deserve it, you put in the work.
I didn't necessarily think I deserved it. I just thought they didn't deserve it.
Okay.
But again, that's opinion.
I think a
little
lot of
arrogance.
it is getting your art in front of the proper audience, though,
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah.
It's like, if like there's gonna be people, like when I have my stuff set up, and there will be people and they're looking at these, watercolored landscapes and they love it, and then they'll just walk by my tent
There's
because
like
it's so
too much pop art.
Nope, not for me, right?
Right.
Which is
They're wrong,
which
but
is-
but they're entitled to their opinion, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I think there's like a balance because, like I said, I don't like abstract, but I do like some abstract, and sometimes it's just even getting to know the artist. Like my first art walk, I was beside this guy Garvin, is his name. He does some of the weirdest art. The concepts are so strange, and so I'm not a big fan of it, but I'm a fan of him because he's a cool dude. He's just, you know, he's a character. And then he sometimes has a painting that's so cool, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that's a freaking cool painting.
Yeah.
And so I follow him on Instagram, but right now he's doing some strange things with like these twigs that are tied up and like hanging.
Oh,
And he
okay.
called it like, I can't remember what he called it, but I was
It's
like,
like conceptual art.
yeah,
Or-
I'm like, what is that? And it's in a gallery, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
what? Dude, this looks like what?
It's like the banana tape to the
Right, exactly.
to the wall,
It
right?
makes
And
no
it's like-
sense, and then it sells for $100,000.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Okay. Question for Kevin. At what age did you find your niche for doing art? When did you get bitten by the art bug?
Very young. Like I can remember in elementary school, the teachers would have to tape a piece of paper, like a fresh piece of paper, every day to my desk.
Because you draw on your desk.
Because they got tired of washing all my drawings off the desk every day. So, which was good. They at least allowed me to keep drawing.
That's awesome.
So, but yeah, so always drawing, always doodling ever since I was young.
That's cool. That's actually really awesome. That's kind of
Coloring
similar.
books when I was young.
Yeah, coloring
Loved
books.
them.
I actually didn't like coloring books because I wanted to make the pictures, and I thought coloring was boring unless I was doing it with someone else. So sometimes we'd do it as a family, but
Oh yeah.
and then we'd have like a run where we'd do it for weeks and then we would stop.
Yeah.
But I
Actually I'm working on painting right now, where so I was going through. My mom had this cedar chest, and she's passed away for a few years now. But I was going through, and I found this big pile of like all these drawings that I did when I was like 6 years old.
okay.
So one of them is of this like goofy looking dog. He's like just looks like he's just happy with the world, right?
Okay.
And I thought, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do like a time travel back and do like a collaboration with little Kevin.
Dude, that's awesome.
And so I got this picture out. I took a picture and I like blew it up, and so I painted this dog exactly like I drew when I was 6 years old.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm kind of working on that now. Like, so I got that all
That's a
done.
great concept.
And yeah, it just kind of tickled me. So
that's
I
a
was
great
like,
concept.
yeah, I'm gonna do a collaboration with me
Yeah.
when I was 6.
When you were
right?
a child, yeah. That's a great concept. I like
Thanks.
that. I kind of want to do that. That's
Yeah, you
great.
should. It's like
Uh,
it just seems funny to me.
I saw another one here I wanted to say. This is not it, but Renee says you can learn anything you want to know on YouTube. That's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
With
learned
YouTube?
a lot on YouTube, like some of the background techniques and stuff, like from, and even like not like from different kinds of artworks, right? Like a lot of the stuff that I use are like stuff that surfboard painters would use,
Okay.
and yeah, so you can learn a lot on YouTube.
Yeah.
I learned how, like I did my, I did complete renovation of everything in my bathroom by watching YouTube.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't know how to tile. I'll watch some videos and learn, right? It's amazing.
It is amazing. Do you have a YouTube channel, by the way?
No, I'm toying with the idea of starting one though.
You should.
Just cause I'm thinking of like someone who's done the art stuff for a little bit, but now I'm gonna be like just starting to do it full time. So it's
Right.
not like I'm a big time artist, but it's like it's good to see like the pros and cons, or just how
Sure.
the everyday
Do
stuff
you think you'd
goes,
do
right?
vlogs, or do you think you would do instructional? Do you think?
I'm not really
mix?
sure. I thought I'd start off with just doing a mix and maybe ask people like, what do you want to see, kind of thing. I'm not sure.
For me, I just, whatever I happen to be doing, like I was literally vlogging when you pulled into my driveway, talking about the trees being chopped off.
Right.
Like, and I was like, well, most of the time, I don't do things for the vlog. I just vlog the things that I'm doing.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
cause. But sometimes I'm like, oh, this would make a good vlog. I'll do it specifically for a vlog, but not usually not. But I think vlogs are so fun because you get to see the personality of a person, and you can become a fan of more than just their art. You can become a fan of them. And there's like, you know, this saying like, don't meet your heroes because they'll disappoint you.
Well, this kind of you get to meet your meet your heroes as you're getting
You won't
to
be
know them,
disappointed when you meet them in real life if they vlog about their regular life. I mean, I don't show everything, obviously, but anyway.
I saw something here. Again, I can't find what I saw before, but Jim, who is a blacksmith, he was on the show. I find that many people I know with an art degree are way more touchy/snobby about their work than crafters are.
So would you describe yourself as a crafter type person or a snobby artist type person?
Well, no, I think I'm more crafty. I even like building things. Like a couple of years ago, I didn't know how to build a front deck, but of course YouTube.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, and it turned out awesome, right? It's like,
yeah.
this is good, but like to me that's fun. Like if I'm building something or creating something, it's fun to me. It's not work to me, right?
So, does your art go past your paintings now that you're doing paintings all the time? Do you still do other things in art?
The only things that I really do are just like as far as creating is like renovations if something needs to be done kind of thing. But not really. Like right now I'm just mostly concentrating on the paintings.
Okay. I think my brother is here. Is there a hockey game today?
Not sure.
You're not into hockey?
No, not really.
No? Okay.
Sometimes I'll watch like during the playoffs
Oh.
until the Oilers are out and then
Well, they're gonna make it this year. We're doing so good. 6 games in a row we won. 2 of them were shutouts, back to back. Justin again says, "There's the story of an artist who sold out his first solo show. This got them a bunch of attention. Turns out they gave a friend a sum of money to buy all the works. Got the money back and recognition." Sometimes you need to trick people into liking you, but I would, again, like I said before, I would much rather someone be a genuine admirer of my work. But money is money, and you need it to
well,
live.
and people are funny because somebody will see your art and like it, but they might not buy it because for whatever reason they're not sure if it's real art or not. You know what I mean? It's like, I've noticed this. Like people will come, and it's like people, peek in the tent and walk by and peek in the tent, and it'll be like, it'll seem like forever. And then when someone does see, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna buy this print, I really like it. And then people see that person buying something, and it's like, oh, this guy has got real art, And then next thing you know, I got 3 people on.
So they think,
like it's
okay,
people
I know what you're
funny,
saying.
and it's the same way with pricing too, right? Like if you price your art really low, people will think, why is it so low? It mustn't be good art.
Yeah.
Like people,
Yeah.
a lot of times they just don't buy like just because they like it.
That's a problem that many artists have is they don't know if they're worth selling it for like 500,000, 5,000.
It's hard.
But
it's hard.
when I started, my first art walk, I sold 25 paintings, and they were priced between
Nice.
$25 and $100. I didn't think anything was worth over $100. Then the next year, I had like from $100 to $500, and I sold less, but I made more money.
Yeah.
And then the next year, it was like $500 to $1,000, and I sold less, but I made more money.
Yeah.
Every year I made more money. The last
I
year I
sold
only
less.
sold one, and I made most money.
Yeah.
I only sold one. I sold one original and prints as well.
Right.
But I sold one original.
Nice.
Oh, it's Tony.
Yeah, sorry, we're a little bit loud.
Tony's back. No, that's okay. No stress. I thought it was Dakota, because I thought I heard the Dakota,
Oh, man.
but it's Tony again. You guys will see Tony and Johnny B in my next vlog. Not the one I'm gonna put out. Today Friday.
Today is Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow I put out another vlog. Hey Johnny, how far are you out to needing this space?
What was the question?
How far are you out to needing this space back?
Oh, that was a real. I thought you were reading that off the thing. That's funny. Can I hop on camera? I think that's enough. What's poppin'? Okay, that's it. Anyways, just whenever you guys are done, you know.
Are you ready?
Yeah. So
Okay.
like, say another 15 minutes ish.
Okay, cool. You good with that?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see here. Don't forget to show. Okay. Thank you, D. Wants people to give thumbs up. By the way, guys, follow Kevin on his Instagram, and then when you have a YouTube channel up, I'm sure you'll share that on your
It'll be there. Yeah.
Instagram. There's the story. Already read that.
It just said L.
Josh preferring to draw his own lines to color in. No surprise there. Coloring pages. I learned to paint by numbers on YouTube. My second one came out better after I took a YouTube algebra class.
You know, I seen a video where they have like these reverse coloring books. Have you seen that? Where everything's colored in, but you got to draw the lines.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I thought, well, that's different.
Mama Sees All asked the question here. I'd be interested to know if any stories surface in Kevin's memory while collaborative painting with his younger self. If so, will you record them to play at an opening beside the painting? Well, that's a good idea. If you
Yeah.
had like the picture and then you had like a little iPad or something beside it with the video of you explaining.
Oh, well, when I do show the painting finished, I do have like that, or the original drawing
Yeah.
is in like a frame, and I'll put it beside there. Yeah,
Okay, you'll do
and
it.
probably
Yeah.
like some kind of little explanation with it.
That's a freaking great idea. I love that.
You should do it too.
Collaborating with yourself. I do have some pictures that I drew when I was young. Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions. So if anyone has, I'm sure there's some that I missed. Let's go into live chat. How about that? Then there will be more comments. Make sure you enter them now, and I'll ask them. But I have a question.
Okay,
Banana bread? Fan or no?
sure.
Sure, not yes, not definitely
What?
yes.
Banana bread's good. I kind of like all bread. Though. I like all bread.
Okay.
Unless it's like that healthy bread with seeds and nuts and stuff in
Okay,
it.
so nuts or no nuts in your banana bread?
No.
Haha, yes, good.
No.
How about chocolate chips?
Chocolate chips is fine.
Okay.
Because banana bread is like a
It's like a
it's
dessert.
like a dessert bread,
Yeah,
right?
it's so good. I love it. That's just something that I'll ask everyone who comes on because I love banana bread. I made these boards. I call
I've
them
seen
banana
your
bread.
boards,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions, so I guess we'll just. Do you have anything that you'd like to let people know about? Anything upcoming or anything like that?
You can see my work at Gossamer Gallery in Wabamun.
Wabamun. That way.
That way, not that way. That way.
So anyone local.
Anyone local, and I do have stuff in Dreamcatchers Gallery in Fort Saskatchewan,
Okay.
and I will be at pretty much all the art walks in the Edmonton area for now.
And if anyone's watching as a gallery curator internationally or what have you, check out his work. See if it's a fit, and even if it's not, give it a shot. Have you shown outside of Canada? Outside of Alberta?
Not outside of, no,
No. Well,
just mostly local.
need to change that. Well, you're local, but you're like wide reach local because you're like all
It's
over the
kind
place.
of, yeah, so,
Like central
and I'm
Alberta.
hoping that without having to do the mailman thing, that I can do some farther shows now too.
Would you go to the
So-
U.S.? Would you do like Art Basel or whatever it's called?
I don't,
It looks freaking.
I guess if
Awesome.
if I think it's gonna be
It would be
to
worth it.
go.
100%. It would be. I don't know why I haven't done it yet. And now that I have having these health problems, I won't be able to do it for a while. But I like kick myself for not doing it because I just didn't have time. But of course I had time. I just didn't feel like it was worth it because I thought what I was already doing was good enough. But now I'm like, I don't even remember what I was doing. Why the heck didn't I go?
Well, that's the thing, right? I think I'm just trying to grow locally and then just spread out.
Yeah, you
Build
start in red water and then the map
And
like
then it just goes
yeah, the whole map is
Yeah.
red after. Someone said something I find strange. Michelle says banana bread goes bad too soon. How are you letting it last on the counter that long? How are you not eating it quick enough that that's not a problem? I don't even understand that. Oh, it looks like Matthew is live over on Instagram right now. Everyone go say hi after this. Yes, so our moderator, which he didn't come on today, which is fine. We didn't have any trolls. Although I actually liked the trolls back when we had a lot of troll problems with YouTube. YouTube,
So you get some ignorant comments.
hilarious though. Well, sometimes there's mean people, and that's fine if that's their real opinion. But most of the time, it's just they're just unless it's racist, I don't care.
Yeah.
I just think it's hilarious. But if it's like, crosses that line, then I'm like, okay, got it. Because it's not funny anymore. But if they're like making fun of me, like what I look like, or how weak they think I am, or something like that, I just think that's so funny. I don't know why, I don't know.
It is fun. I mean, because it's not really about you, it's about them, right?
Well, they're trying to, well, some of them are trying to like hurt your feelings, and some of them are trying to get laughs.
Get a laugh, yeah.
And we have this one. I actually just remembered something. Holy crap. Okay, there's, in my next vlog coming up, I have this part that is very important that there's something to do with an old troll on my channel. His name is 0M, and he's kind of missing. I don't know what happened to him, but there's going to be a little something about it in my next vlog, and I totally forgot about it. I'm so glad I remembered this. Thanks for coming on. I would have been so bummed if I put out that
So
vlog without
you're missing your troll, or?
him. He was so awesome because he's like, how come you pansies aren't buying Josh's art? Come on, you guys are so ungrateful. Everyone's just saying they like it, but no one's buying it, right? But he's being funny.
Yeah.
He wasn't like, I mean, maybe some people got offended by it, but the way that he did it, I just thought it was good. It was like a positive troll. But some people, like there was this one guy, I've told this story recently. I think his name was like Senile Grandpa. I can't remember what his name was. But he would, one of his comments was, what would you do if I smashed your skinny little legs with a baseball bat? And I was like, that's such an absurd thing to say. So I was like, it made me laugh. And then we had this one guy, his name was Steve Hatt, and he's a real person. I don't think he's like a professional troll, if you want to call it that. He was just an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was thinking about making this merch, a hat that said Steve and calling it an ass hat.
Oh, okay.
It just says Steve.
Right.
But no one would get it except for who knew that he was a jerk. But I didn't do it just in case, I don't know, he had some sort of, I don't know. You never know. The internet is...
You never know what people are dealing with, right?
Okay. Tracy asked a question. He may have me blocked because that was 4 times asking that question. Someone else ask it.
Why would I block you? Are you a troll? I don't block anyone, by the way. Sometimes my moderators will block someone. I've never blocked anyone ever, even once.
I don't see your question. Can Kevin talk about his first ever sale?
Is it that question?
I'm always curious to know how people felt about their first sale and thereby becoming a true professional artist.
We'll end on this question here. That's a good final question.
So my very first sale, I learned a couple of things. Number one, don't take down your booth before you're supposed to, because it was getting near the end of the day. This was, I think it was my second show. Now I'm not counting prints, but this was my first original. But
Wait, at your first show, you already had prints?
yeah,
Dude, I wish I did that.
I decided to do prints like from the get-go
That's a good.
because when I was like like I said, I go to the art walks with my daughter, and
Yeah.
I'd see a lot of art that I really liked,
Yeah.
and it was like, man, but I can't afford to buy that, right?
Yeah.
But then they'd have like a magnet or a sticker
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something small, and it's like and I was like, oh, cool, I can get this.
Right.
And my fridge is still full of those magnets
Right.
from years ago, and I still appreciate looking at them, right? So I decided I'm gonna make sure and have like lower price something.
Something so
like
someone
the
can
prints.
pick it up. Right.
Yeah.
And then maybe in the future, hopefully they will buy an original.
The
never
original is
know.
probably still for sale. But anyway, the first piece that I sold, it started raining and a lot of people were starting to tear down early.
Which art walk was this?
It was a really small one. It was in what's the army base area in Edmonton? But now it's all just like housing.
On the north side?
Yeah.
I don't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
But anyway, it was a small one. There was only like 30 artists, something like that.
Okay.
But anyway, everybody was tearing down, and then it was like last minute, someone decided to buy this piece of art off me, and I was like, yeah.
So that was your
Like,
first
it was
original
my
sale.
first original sale. So I learned never take down before you
No.
before you need, because once you're set up,
If anything, try to stay
doesn't-
longer.
yeah, exactly, right.
I always try to stay longer. The only reason why I take stuff down when I do is because the people who are with me just respect out of their time. Because
Mhm.
it takes, like me, I always cheat. I only do the big art walk, but I always have 2 tents. I just put them in a line,
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
right? And so I never got in
That
trouble
works.
yet, but lots of artists
It
have
works.
a problem with it. I'm like, I didn't ask you not to bring 2 tents.
Yeah.
Bring 2 tents
Sure.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
I bring 2, so because my paintings, most of them are pretty big, as are yours. To me, this is not big, but to most people, they're like, oh, that's a big painting.
Yeah, these are some of my smaller
ones, yeah.
actually.
Same, like that.
But you know what? When I first started out, like my first, like all those paintings that I did for that first year, they were all 16 by 20.
Okay.
Every one of them.
Yeah.
And then I decided, oh, I'm gonna try paint because I went with that side because it's a drawing size, right?
Sure.
So I'm so used to drawing.
Yeah.
But so when I started trying to go bigger, then I fell in love with the bigger paintings. So.
Okay. So selling that, you were super stoked then.
Yeah, but and another thing is that it was my least favorite painting that I had.
What was it of?
It was of like barbells, so they bought it to put in their gym,
Okay.
right? It was like a really close up of like the old with the lettering like on the
Right.
45-pound kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like you never like you might not think it's your best painting, but other people who are into that would
Right.
be like, oh, look at that, we need that for the gym.
You know what I love
And
doing?
it's like what?
When I go to an art walk and someone says they don't like someone's work and I can hear it,
Mhm.
I'll just, even if I don't like it, I'm like, dude, look at this! This is so sick!
Yeah.
And I love doing that because one, it's, well, if I genuinely don't like it, then I won't, right? But most of the time, you can find something that you like.
Yeah.
I don't give compliments that I actually don't mean, so I should say that. But if someone's being an asshole, not even being an asshole, they're just
Yeah.
they say out loud you don't like it, and that artist heard it. I'm like,
they play it up
that's
as,
rough. That almost never hurts my feelings. I don't care if someone doesn't like my work. I would prefer they do, but if they don't, oh well.
Yeah.
Oh well. Doesn't
I
matter.
had this McDonald's painting, and it was like just McDonald's French fries, and it just had like the fry guys and all this other McDonald's stuff all in it.
Yeah.
And it was one of the best things that I heard was this guy was walking with his daughter, and she was like, she must have been 5 or 6, something like that.
Yeah.
And she's walking by and she looks at it and she says, "Daddy, isn't this just ridiculous?" And it was like, I just laughed. Like, it's just comments like that. It's
That's
like,
the
kids
best.
are so
Too bad you
honest,
didn't.
right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Too bad you didn't have that on
oh, I wish I
video.
did.
That's so
But
good.
it's like, yeah, it is kind of ridiculous, but it's fun.
That's so funny. Yeah. When I sold my first painting, I actually sold it to my brother Ken, my older brother. He's 10 years my senior. I was like, cause like he's never bought paintings before. He's bought. I shouldn't say that. He really likes bald eagles, so he's bought some Robert Bateman's prints.
Oh, okay.
So let's just say the caliber of that art versus me as a teenager. I drew, or I painted, my first painting was when I first started painting, I would just look at images and I would paint the same things, even if it wasn't painting and stuff. So this one was kind of like that, but I kind of expanded a little bit. It was like this rabbit. Oh, maybe I didn't see this somewhere. I can't remember, actually, but I remember painting it. But anyways, he bought that. This one of a dove, and I don't remember what the other third one is. Anyways, he bought them for $30 each, which I was like, what? Because like he's my brother, I would have just given them to him.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, these are gonna be worth something one day because they're your first and they're good.
Yeah.
And he actually came on this show too, and he told me about how he was impressed also with my little brother Dakota, how we could do good art as kids. And in fact, that's my little brother's first painting. It's actually a mural on his wall, on his bedroom wall.
Oh, okay.
So it's much
Yeah.
bigger than that. It's like 6 feet by 8
That's
feet or
awesome.
something. Yeah, amazing, right?
Yeah.
And I actually like all of his paintings, except for his latest one. I actually think is kind of hot garbage. It's Johnny Cash, but it looks like, I don't know.
Not Johnny Cash.
No, it's Connie Jash. Switch the letters around. It's not good, in my opinion. But it would be good if he spent some more time on it, I think. But anyway, my brother Ken was kind of giving the reasoning behind buying those pictures. And even though it was my brother, I think actually even more so that it was my brother who bought them, it was more awesome to me because I don't know, I just know my brother and he doesn't buy stuff that he doesn't like.
Yeah.
You know, and he's not like a wasteful person and
Yeah.
stuff too, so he wouldn't. And also, if he didn't buy them, it wouldn't hurt my feelings.
Because he's your brother.
Right?
You
And
don't
well, I
expect
wouldn't.
it, right?
I didn't even know. And like, and him buying them, he didn't do it to. I don't think, maybe he did, to boost my ego or anything. But so the fact that he bought it, it's awesome.
Yeah.
If any of my 3 oldest brothers bought it, it would have been the same thing. And then I have another older brother who's older than me, who also does art. And then my little brother does art. Kind of like everyone in my family does something that I think is cool. We're not all artists, but anyway.
Oh,
Kind of. They all have their, like my brother Mike is a gold miner, as is my brother Ken, and I just think that's dope. My brother Dave also does it too, and then they also were loggers, which I think is such a cool industry, especially if you understand it. They had
beachcomber.
They had no, they did.
Logging like in the mountains.
Yeah.
Trucking.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, they did. Well, so my brother Ken did. He ran Delimmer. My brother Mike ran the Buncher, and my brother Dave was. I can't remember what machine he did, but he also was heavy duty mechanic.
Oh, okay.
Which he still is. What was I gonna say now? Oh yeah, they had their company jackets and stuff said tree hugger on them, which I thought was hilarious. They did ethical practice logging though, so they replanted the forest and stuff. And
cool.
So they worked for other family, and they have a whole sustainable way that they did it. Those forests they're regrown now.
anyway, don't need a lesson on logging. So, I have one more question here for Kevin. Has he ever thought of publishing a book about his most favorite paintings / prints?
No.
Would you do a book though?
Would
Thinking
I do
about it now?
A book?
I've been thinking
I
about
think-
doing a book.
If I did a book, I think like maybe like a coffee table
Yeah.
book, something like
Yeah,
that.
And you can put like your bio and stuff.
Yeah, and you can like write little stories about each
Right.
piece.
That's
right?
what I want to do too.
Because every piece does have
Yeah.
some kind of a story,
significance
even
and
if
stuff,
it's
yeah.
just I thought this would be really cool.
I just thought this would be cool. That's it. I actually want to do that. I have this idea. So I'm going to do my first 10 years of painting. I'm going to keep out the ones that will get me in trouble, like legally with the Star Wars,
Yeah,
Disney and
Disney
stuff.
and stuff.
I'm not going to put that in there. Maybe if I ever become a famous artist where I can license those, then I'll put out another book that's like the back catalog, like the secret gallery or whatever. I don't know. But I want to do a book of every 10 years of my art career, if you will, and mostly just of the paintings. And I want to do a release of just your regular paperback and your regular hard copy, and then I want to do artisan ones where I like hand type out everything on a typewriter, so all of the stuff.
Okay.
And so I'll only do like 5 of those because that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Basically, I just retype everything, keep all the mistakes in there, white it out. I love that look. I've never seen anyone do that, but I've seen people. There's this guy on YouTube. His name is Van Neistat.
It's kind of like the sketchbooks or when people keep like journals and they write all the stuff, but then there's like white out.
Yes.
But they'll do a little doodle in the corner.
Yes,
Or
exactly.
whatever. Yeah.
That's what I want to do. So each book will be different, especially since I suck at typing, especially on a typewriter.
Yeah.
Have you ever done it? You have to
Yeah.
intentionally press each button. Like, I don't know how people are like.
Well, it's not like
No, it's not ergonomic.
There's the electric typewriters.
I'm gonna do it on
that
the.
are.
I'll show it to you after.
Is it like a really
It's like
old
the-
one?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you gotta like each finger has to go all the way down.
Yeah, all the way down, and yeah, I have 2 typewriters. I need a. Anyways, the Van Neistat does like I've already thought of this, but just if anyone wants to look him up, his like aesthetic is really cool of how he does his videos, along with his brother Casey Neistat. His videos are really awesome. But anyway, when he typewrites a lot of stuff, and then if it makes a mistake, it's whited out, and then
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I think that's
and
so
then
cool.
you gotta roll back the paper
Yeah.
and try to line it up. And
Yeah, so that's what I want to do for the artisan booklet. I have a lot of ideas that sometimes I hesitate about talking about. Not that I think someone's going to steal it. It's okay if someone does the same thing. It's just I want the reveal to be there where people are like, oh, that's so freaking cool.
Yeah.
I have a lot of different things that I, thinking about the future. Anyway, I think we've talked long enough. That's an hour and a half. It's a pretty good conversation. If you guys want to check out more of Kevin's stuff, like I've already said a couple times, we have a link in the description to the Instagram as well as your website. Kudos on getting the website. I've been working on my website for a long time.
But it's not the best website, but
It's better than
a
mine.
website.
I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. You have all your work available as prints. You have originals available. Do you ship worldwide?
I haven't yet, but yes, I can ship worldwide.
Well, someone said hello from Queensland, Australia. Maybe they'll buy a print. That would be cool.
That'd be awesome.
That would be like. Sometimes I get some stuff sent to Australia. Lately, the furthest was Sweden,
Oh yeah,
which is pretty cool.
that's cool.
It's cool when, I would like to go there one day, but it's cool that someone, I think it was a cutting board they bought, or a cheese board or something.
Oh, nice.
So kind of expensive, so thank you for the support,
Yeah.
everyone.
Well, I work for Canada Post right now, so I know how expensive all that stuff
Why is it so expensive?
I don't even understand why it's so expensive.
It is so expensive. Well, it seems like within Canada it's the most expensive, depending on size. Once you
Yeah.
go up in size, going overseas is more expensive.
Depending on what you're selling, usually the the pre-made boxes is usually the cheapest, especially if you go into Eastern Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like
Okay.
one side, like it's like
Yeah, if it fits the
$30 or
chips,
whatever.
it says on the box
Yeah.
30. But it's up to 5 kgs though. So,
yeah, like it's got to be something pretty heavy though. Like
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, got a vlog coming out tomorrow. Thank you to Heather for helping out with that vlog. Also want to say, go check out Matthew's Instagram, our moderator. He's on. He does like jewelry and stuff. He was the firefighter dude.
Oh, okay.
And he's got PTSD and stuff or whatever, so he started doing art as a coping mechanism for that, and then
cool.
he turned it into a business, and he does like high quality stone, not like diamonds and stuff, or maybe he does, I don't know, but he does lava rock, and I commissioned him to make me a lava rock chunky bracelet. I don't really wear jewelry too often, but I would totally rock that, no pun intended. And but yeah, just the lava stone. Crystals and all sorts of different, made into beads or whatever. And anyways, go check him out. Go check out Kevin here, and as Matthew would say, go to bed. All right, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Oh look, she messaged me. I think we're ready. Thank you, Heather. All right, see you guys.